Superbike. Who do you like? Why, the one still in contention for a championship, of course. They've each had their share of success and bad luck. So who's your favorite? Pick one. Just one. Eric Bostrom and the little green engine that could. You gotta love it when the underdog fights back to the top. Matt Mladen, Darth Vader in leather, commanding the ultimate Battlestar GSXR. Or Aaron Yates, Mr. Entertainment, who proved last year he can win championships too. Then there's Ben Bostrom, Curtis Roberts, and long shot Miguel Duhamel riding Honda, the same Honda ridden by Nicky to #1 a year ago. E-Boz, V-Boz, Matt, Double A, K-Rob, and Mighty Miguel. Place your bets. It's AMA Superbike on Speed. Shades of 2001 as Matt Mladen and Eric Bostrom battle for a Superbike championship. For Bostrom is first, for Matt Mladen an unprecedented 4th title at stake as they come to Brainerd International Raceway for round 11 of the Chevy Trucks US Superbike Championship, and you are there. Hello everyone, I'm Brian Drever standing in the middle of the straightaway. Behind me is what David Sadowski calls the money turn, and 3/4 of a mile down to the other end, the manly turn. That's what separates the guys who are going to be winners here today from the rest. And standing down there at the turn that it takes major bravado to get through is my broadcast partner, David Sadowski. Ski?
Major bravado, you got that right, Brian. I'm standing in the most challenging turn in North America Superbike road racing, turn 1 at Brainerd. On the radar speeds here, I was shooting them yesterday. Take a look at this, 184, 185, when the guys get drafting each other, 189.6 miles an hour. Incredible record-breaking speeds here at Brainerd. When they get side by side in here, it's going to be incredible to watch. This is where all the action happens. If you can rail through this turn on wide open on the stop, you got a chance at winning at BIR.
All right, the bikes are out on the first of 2 parade and then warm-up laps. Beautiful conditions here at Brainerd. We've made much of the fact that Mother Nature's been a player all season long. Not today. A few clouds drifting in and out of the area, but otherwise everything is just fine. A-OK, green lights all the way and ready to go racing on a beautiful day to do just about anything. But what better could you do than enjoy a race here on Speed? So the bikes are returning to the starting grid. Again, they've been out on their parade lap, waving to the corner workers, most of the fans. And Ski, things are getting pretty exciting here, and there is
that will. There's a little ninja that will.
That's right. There you go. The little green engine that did a couple of times this season already. 2 of the last 3 races.
Brian, you can see the sign that she was holding up getting tossed around by the wind. The wind has come up. You see the flags in the background there. They're showing a 10-mile-an-hour wind. I think it's up to about 15 miles an hour right now. So there could be some last-minute changes going on with gearing, and especially on the 32 bike. Eric Bostrom has got to get that thing geared to draft the faster bikes. But I tell you what, on the radar speeds with his bike, he was able to pull 185 by himself.
All right, let's go downstairs now. Greg White in the middle of all the grid action. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Brian. Down here with pole sitter Matt Mladen, who's just checking over his tires, making sure they're scuffed in nice and good. Matt, really fast lap times around this Brainerd International Raceway circuit. What kind of race can we expect here today? You going to try to check out, or you know it's going to be a drafting war?
Most of the time it comes down to drafting at this place, so practice is practice and race is a race, so we just got to go out there and see how it plays out for the first few laps and make a plan.
Cool. Well, good luck, Matt. He's on the business end of things right now, planning his race strategy. Now, next to him on the grid is Miguel Duhamel. Miguel's been fast all weekend around this circuit, very confident. He raced earlier in the day, and we are certainly not going to give that race result away. But Miguel Duhamel, how are you feeling physically since you already raced today?
Feeling pretty good, you know. Twan, an assistant of Dr. King, physiotherapist, he's out here and taking care of Curtis and me, and gave me some Celebrex pills, I guess, to and that works really good. So, so I'm feeling quite a bit better, you know, and I'm looking forward to a good race. Hopefully, I'll stay away from some pain and win.
Well, good luck to Miguel Duhamel. He actually has a pin that's trying to poke its way through the skin from a shoulder injury that he sustained earlier in the season. Next to him on the grid, Eric Bostrom, who's talking to our track announcer. We're going to send it back up to Brian Drever and David Sadowski to give you guys more information about what's going on here at BIR.
All right, well, Mike Preston on the right, Dan Fahey, the crew chief, in the back, Kenny Hunter up front, and the man who's going to ride the motorcycle, Eric Bostrom, all standing by to do the business here at Brainerd. AMA Superbike Racing from Brainerd is brought to you by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, personal watercraft, and scooters. and by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Show us your speed. Well, we're about to here at Brainerd International Raceway, the Chevy Truck Superbike Series, and some of our fans enjoying the race live and in person, and they'll go home and watch it a little bit later on TV. Let's take a look at the starting grid. Matt Mladen, not a track record, but another pole. 28, he is far and away the leading pole sitter in AMA Superbike history. He'll start first here today alongside Miguel Duhamel. Mighty Miguel, the winningest rider in AMA history, and he has continued his winning ways. Hope to do some more here this afternoon. 11 wins for Eric Bostrom. He'd like to make it 12 here today, and he is the points leader. Then it's going to be Curtis Roberts, two-time Formula Extreme champion without a win yet in Superbike. He's been very close here at Brainerd, and frankly, he's my pick for winning here today.
Back to row 2, headed off by the number 20 of Aaron Yates next to Giovanni Busai. He's come over to replace Anthony Gobert, Ben Bostrom, and Steve Rapp on the 51 machine. Take a look at some earlier action from Steve Rapp at Brainerd. Out of turn 3, gets it sideways, sticks the front wheel in a pothole, bends the rim, the tire goes flat. He almost goes flying over the handlebars. Incredible save out of Steve Rapp. But in an incredible performance in his qualifying effort to qualify on row 2. Back to row 3. Pridmore, Zoke, Sakato, and Higbee, all GSXR 1000 mounted.
And we go to row number 4. We continue here with a whole freight train of riders that are going to be in contention. Josh Hayes is back there with Vincent Haskovich. Michael Barnes rode off into the pool, and Rob Jensen, who is something of a specialist here at this racetrack. Krusty Ferguson, Opie Kaler, John Dugan, and Brian Stokes will be on row number 5, and we'll go all the way back to a full field, 11 rows deep here. But let's take a look at Brainerd International Raceway layout.
Our Joe Rocket track map at BIR. We already told you all about this area here, turn 1, down into here, 180 miles an hour through that stretch. We hadn't talked much about all the braking that's going to go on down in the turn 3 area, a lot of overtaking there. And then this is a one-line affair through here, but we've seen a lot of guys try to stuff up the inside in turn 4. Out of here, down to the bus stop, the slowest turn on the racetrack here at turn 9, and then down into the money corner, we called it. This is where all the action happens, and we'll wrap it up from there, take it to the start-finish. It's going to be an exciting finish in this one for sure. We're going 21 laps around this 3-mile circuit.
All right, most of the bikes have returned, and a few of them are coming back. The onboard camera with Miguel Duhamel will start from the front row. He pulls up alongside Matt Mladen, taking a final look at his bike, and the Kawasaki of Eric Bostrom. Yes, the little green engine that might again here today. And we painted it as something of an underdog, but you know what? Doesn't give up a whole lot on straightaway speed here at Brainerd in spite of giving up nearly 200 cc in displacement.
It'll be interesting. These guys are on a drag strip, and we are going to have a multi-bike drag race here into turn 1. It'll be interesting to see if Eric Bostrom's bike can accelerate off the line with the 1000s and actually get the whole shot and go into turn 1.
Let's go down to Greg White quickly before we start.
Little confusion down here on pit lane. It looks like they're getting stuff cleared up. But basically what I want to talk about was tires. Everybody has a millimeter on the rear tire shaved off, except for Eric Bostrom's Kawasaki. They say his motor doesn't make enough horsepower to generate enough heat. It's time to go racing.
That could be the key for Eric Bostrom. His bike is not abusive on the rear tires. Bike's in gear, clutch is in.
And you notice Matt Mladen kicks down into first. He uses conventional shifting, as many of you do on the street. Here's the drag race to turn number 1. Miguel Duhamel with a huge start. And what a jackrabbit lead he's got going down there. But now everybody else starts to get up to speed. Curtis Roberts on the number 80 bike in 3rd position. You're on board with Eric Bostrom. You're watching the leaders just in front.
Matt Mladen with a nice low line down into turn 1. That's going to allow him to get on the gas and possibly stretch it out into 2. And he does. He puts a few bike lengths on Miguel Duhamel.
Took a while for Mladen Suzuki GSXR to spin up to speed, but once he did, he ended up taking the lead in turn 1. Bostrom moves into 2nd position around Duhamel.
Here comes Aaron Yates in 4th place, right on the rear tire of Miguel Duhamel. Time to get busy here on the first lap. This is when it counts. Eric Bostrom trying to keep Matt Mladen in his sights. He drifts wide. He's going to lose a spot. There goes Miguel Duhamel side by side with Eric Bostrom through turn 4.
You're on board with Miguel in the number 17 RC51 Honda. Running in 4th spot up behind Eric Bostrom. Matt Mladen trying to exploit his 0.8 of a second advantage in qualifying, which is done without qualifying tires anymore these days. And Mladen trying to stretch it out.
Look at Yates, though. He was the one that jumped up into 2nd position when Eric Bostrom went wide out of turn 5. Really hard not to wheelie out of the bus stop turn, but we got a tow of bikes. Look at this, Brian.
Wow, here at Brainerd, a string of motorcycles from one end of the short chute leading to turn 10 all the way back to the bus stop. Now they come onto the front line straight away. Best start finish for the first time in 21 laps scheduled here today.
Clean start by everybody. No black flag out for jumping the start. Michael Barnes, I can see him back there on the 34 machine. He's got a new engine in his bike, loaned to him from Kevin Hunt's effort. Michael Barnes, one of the top privateers, able to keep the lead factory draft.
Coming across the start-finish line a moment ago, the tail end of the field is now Suzuki teammates Matt Mladen and Aaron Yates with a slight gap on Eric Bostrom. Then the Hondas of Duhamel and Curtis Roberts coming in 4th, 5th spots there, right?
Need to elaborate a little bit on what Greg White reported from the starting grid. This racetrack, a lot like Elkhart Lake and Daytona, where the rear wheel spins 20-something miles an hour faster than the front wheel. The guys have shaved 1 millimeter of rubber off the center of the tire. You can see the wheel spin coming off the turns as the bikes are still straight up and down. You shave that millimeter of rubber off the center of the tire and it dissipates the heat a little bit better. Tires are definitely going to be an issue in this race, somewhere in the window of lap 11 and 15. We'll see who can manage their rubber the best.
Long runs in practice produce some unusual tire wear, and so all the teams are kind of tap dancing around whether or not they've made the correct tire choice here today. They heading down the short chute from the bus stop turn. Again, the 2 Suzukis out in the front. Kawasaki leading a pair of Hondas in 4th and 5th. Michael Barnes, the privateer on the number 34, in 7th position. So Barney's getting it done out there today. He's a spot ahead of Ben Bostrom on the last lap as they cross the start-finish line. We'll see where he runs this time around. Barnes in 8th. Bostrom has gotten around him. Jordan Zoke in 9th. And Giovanni Busse on the Ducati formerly ridden by Anthony Gobert.
There goes Miguel Duhamel. Caught a pretty solid draft off the back of Eric Bostrom. He brings Curtis Roberts with him. We got this covered big time with our onboard Kawasaki cam into turn 2. Stutter bumps through here. Both wheels just kind of drift out. You almost run out of racetrack, get it right out on the edge. Here comes Curtis Roberts after Miguel Duhamel. He'll dive up the inside.
Miguel lets him through. So Roberts to 3rd now. Will he be able to track down the Suzukis in front? We're going to find out here momentarily as you're riding with Miguel Duhamel on the way to a commercial break. He's in the top 5. Aaron Yates takes the lead a few moments ago, but tonight you're going to see AMA Super Sport racing from here in Brainerd at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We're not going to give it away. Trust us, it is worth watching. So stay tuned tonight at 8 p.m. for AMA Super Sport from Brainerd here on Speed.
Drafting and passing up the front straightaway. Matt Mladen into the lead again. But it was Aaron Yates really strong down in the turn 3 area. He's going to have to do it all over again because Matt Mladen, look at the speed through turn 1. Amazing speed through there.
The 2 Suzukis having pulled away from the group behind them. You can just see them in the distance now with Roberts, Duhamel, and Eric Bostrom. Here's the earlier pass by Aaron Yates.
Yates sets up Mladen. Mladen drifting both wheels out using all the racetrack. Wasn't able to keep it pinned all the way through turn 2. He has to yield to his teammate. I'll tell you what, though, these guys ran inches apart all the way through the infield, and they're still real tight.
So Yates behind Mladen again, and the 2 of them racing each other would be the best news that the riders behind could get. And right now it is Roberts leading Duhamel and Eric Bostrom. Aaron Yates with the fastest lap of the race at a 36.1. You have to go all the way to 3rd place qualifier Eric Bostrom with a 36.2 in qualifying, as both Mladen and Miguel Duhamel qualified quicker than that. But that's qualifying. This is the race. On board with Miguel following Curtis Roberts.
Bus stop turn, one of the slowest turns on the racetrack, but it's very difficult to try to get through there fast, Brian. You're just so hard on the brakes, the suspension's fully compressed, and it gets really, really narrow there. The top of 2nd gear on one of these Superbikes. These guys average 113 miles an hour around the 3-mile Brainerd circuit.
Roberts and Duhamel breaking the connection with Eric Bostrom. Miguel goes by Curtis Roberts on the draft into turn number 1. You can see Eric Bostrom a little bit further behind. Ben Bostrom is back in 6th position and closing on his brother.
And the Same thing going on here amongst the Honda camp is what's going on up front with the Suzuki. The bike's so equal. Look at the black strips coming off the tire there from Miguel Duhamel. Curtis content to follow him through. Eric Bostrom just waiting patiently for these guys to wear their tires out.
Matt Mladen and Eric Bostrom tied in points coming into this race with Mladen's pole position. Let's go to Greg White with something to add.
Well, thanks. I'm down here in the Suzuki pit, and basically the way it looks down here, as well as the Kawasaki pit, the Honda pit, everybody's prepared for a tire change. Now, it's no slight on Dunlop if this happens. Keep in mind that the new GSX-R 1000 makes so much horsepower and does it in a different way that the tire technology is just trying to catch up with the bike technology. So they're just prepared, but the Yoshimura team is confident at this point that that tire is going to go the distance. Brian?
All right, well, Reg O'Rourke and Peter Doyle and the guys getting ready nevertheless. As Matt Mladen and Aaron Yates putting the Suzuki GSX-R 1000 and the Dunlop tires to the test. Mladen starting to open a little bit of a gap on Yates now. So it's taken him 6 laps to exploit a little bit quicker, consistently quicker lap times all weekend. There are your intervals down the left side of the screen. Ben Bostrom definitely closing on Eric Bostrom, who has been somewhat left behind by Roberts and Duhamel.
Matt Mladen will be the first one through the traffic. And that's maybe what Aaron Yates needs to reel this gap that Mladen's put on him back in. And of course, Eric Bostrom may benefit somewhat, but they're just too far back right now.
Well, they are 3.5 seconds behind Miguel Duhamel and Curtis Roberts, behind the leader Matt Mladen and his teammate Aaron Yates. Once again, you're riding on board with Miguel on the way to a break. Three-time AMA Superbike champion Matt Mladen trying to do everything he can to shake his teammate Aaron Yates off of the wheel, but Yates is pretty tenacious. And you want to know how hard these two guys are riding? This is not a stroll in the park. Take a look.
Talking about the bus stop turn, watch these chassis. Almost identically set up, hitting the bumps the same. That's a chassis flexing while they're getting hard on the throttle through the bus stop turn. You see Miguel doing the same thing. Guys are trying to stand the bike up, get it to the center of the tire as quick as they can. Jump off that turn to wide open throttle and start grabbing gears. Matt Mladen doing really super through this final corner. And that's about the only place that he's been able to stretch it out over Aaron Yates. Getting onto that front straightaway and breaking the draft, getting out on his own. Is paid huge for the 66 rider Matt Mladen up front.
6 bikes in the same short chute straightaway between the bus stop and turn 10. And in 7th position is Giovanni Busai, riding the Team Austin Ducati. Anthony Gobert let go by the team, replaced with Busai, who is a World Supersport veteran, had been campaigning a privateer Yamaha in World Supersport when he got the call. Never been to the United States. There's Curtis Roberts, 4.5 seconds behind the leader Matt Mladen, and inches behind his teammate Miguel Duhamel. Eric Bostrom riding as hard as a man can possibly ride a motorcycle that's just a little bit slower than the lead Suzukis.
As I was saying earlier, he needs these guys to get locked up in traffic so he can get that draft back. The Hondas have pulled Eric Bostrom up the straightaway every lap so far, except for the last one. Eric knows he's got to keep touch with Curtis Roberts and Miguel Duhamel.
Ben Bostrom, you can also see him just creeping into the picture. Far right of the screen right now, has been closing steadily on his brother and perhaps managing his tires for a late run in this race. But I mean, something pretty serious has got to happen to the guys up front for Ben Bostrom to make a run from 7 seconds back. There's Giovanni Busai on the Team Austin Ducati. Let's go to Greg White for more.
Real quick, down here on the pit board, 2 laps ago, Giovanni came by and he was pointing at his pit board like that, and that was because they changed this part of the pit board, saying that he's minus 4.5 seconds behind the leaders after he got by Jason Pridmore. So a little communication goes a long way in AMA Superbike racing. Brian?
Well, he did indeed get around Pridmore, so I guess they're showing him how far it is up to the next rider in front of him, which is Bostrom, and it's about 5 seconds now. So there is Giovanni. There is Jason Pridmore, the number 43 Attack Suzuki, the defending Formula Extreme champion, campaigning a Superbike this season. And of course, with all the experience of a Jason Pridmore, once he gets a good GSX-R 1000 under him, and the Attack team has been working awful hard to try to catch up to the quote factory Yoshimura guys. And they're getting closer all the time. Back up front now with Matt Mladen and Aaron Yates, just separated by that much. It's been that way for the last 3 or 4 laps. We're 9 laps into a 21-lap race. Coming up on traffic.
Yates riding his GSX-R 1000 for everything it's worth today to try to keep his teammate in sight. Doing a heck of a job of it. Matt Mladen throwing down some pretty serious lap times. 136.4, 136.5, last one 136.6. Duhamel still having a battle with Curtis Roberts.
All the positions scrolling across the top of the screen, and the leaders getting into the last couple of riders. I think Ryan Boyd on the 201 bike is going to be the first one to see Matt Mladen come by. You're on board with Miguel Duhamel through the money turn.
In through turn 10. Miguel used a pretty wide apex. Carries a ton of speed up the front straightaway here. You see the pit boards flash by on the left. Take a quick look at your pit board and then try to focus up on turn 1. Track's bumpy with Steeler. It's really hard to keep your eyes focused. Listen to this. Miguel kicking down to 5th gear. Should kick it to 4th here for turn 2. Right back to wide open throttle here. Expect the rear to drift around. And hard on the brakes. Coming up on the lap traffic, one of the more difficult sections to make a pass. It's going to cost Miguel some time.
And it is Brian Boyd on the Boyd Racing Suzuki 1000, along with the 182 Eric Doyema from Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Going to run out of the racetrack there.
Ooh, that was close. As he went around Boyd.
Curtis has it pretty easy there. Miguel going through there like a fullback.
And here comes Eric, and Ben Bostrom has caught his brother. So the Bostrom brothers now running in 5th and 6th position, one right behind the other. You're on board with Eric. Down to the bus stop. And under the bridge. The race for 3rd and 4th between Honda teammates. The race for 5th and 6th between Bostrom brothers. And up front, it's a pair of Suzukis doing battle for the win. Championship Extra from Cyprus today at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So while you're getting ready for the AMA Supersport race from here in Brainerd, take a look at the rally cars from Cyprus. Yeah, that's always a lot of fun. Coming up on the 31 bike of Jeffrey Perk out of Des Moines.
Whoa, Matt Mladen's got trouble.
Slow it down.
Rear tires come apart on Mladen's bike, it looks like.
It does look like the rear tire has got some right side issues, and he's looking back at it. So he's going to have to go to the pits. Your championship contender, your co-points leader, Matt Mladen, has got a tire problem. Now, we know that he had a tire problem at Road Atlanta, and it almost had disastrous consequences. This one looks like it's going to be a little less stressful, but no less devastating in terms of his championship hopes.
Definitely. Matt Mladen playing it safe than sorry. Trying to get this one back to the pits and back into this for some championship points, but pretty much everybody went with the same tire, so I have to think that Aaron Yates, his tire's seen better days too at this point in the race.
Matt Mladen, the biggest damage that was being done to his motorcycle at Road Atlanta was by the tire itself and pieces of it coming off, just beating the suspension up underneath the saddle there. Here he's trying to just get to the pits as quickly as he can without doing any more damage.
Well, you can see the rubber chunking off the back of the tire.
Yep.
But Matt Mladen signaling to one of his spotters in the infield, I'm heading for the pits, get the guys tools ready.
Giovanni Busai on the Ducati as Mladen signals his pit exit, or his exit from the racetrack to the pit. He'll head for the Yoshimura Suzuki compound, and Peter Doyle, Reg O'Rourke, and Henry Yokota will go to work. Henry's on the front.
Matt Mladen just can't believe this is happening.
Let's go to Greg White
again.
But thanks, down here, quick tire change because they have that gear on, and Matt is off and away. Keep in mind, it's a 50-mile-an-hour speed limit down here. If he doesn't do it, he gets penalized. So Matt's off and away, only losing, I'm not sure. You guys will have to check the score and you see how many positions he lost, but Matt needs the points for the championship.
Well, he crossed the scoring loop, perhaps in 7th position behind Giovanni Busai, but we'll keep a close look at this. Aaron Yates, in any case, 13 laps in, about 2/3 of the way through this 21-lap race. Aaron Yates is your leader by almost 6 seconds over Miguel Duhamel. So everybody picked up a spot. Now, whether Matt Mladen will be able to pick up some of the spots that he lost by coming into the pits. We saw him pit for a tire at Elkhart and come back out, pick up a lot of positions. So we're on the 14th lap of 21 here. 13 down, 7 to go.
The point of interest in this race right now, this part of the tire. See if I can follow him up the front straightaway, right in there. You're going to watch the center of the tire. That's where the wheel spin happens up the front straightaway. Pretty cool in the extreme class. Rad Greaves gave me some accurate data. The rear wheel on his Hayabusa, which is an extreme qualified bike, 26 miles an hour faster than the front wheel speed.
Absolutely. You were an educated guess, but it's nice to know when the data backs you up. Here is Aaron Yates coming up on the 335 of David Dupre on the Brighton Superbike. This is a guy who was pretty excited about his first appearance and qualifying for this race. So Dupre goes a lap down to the leader after 2/3 distance.
You can see Aaron Yates is definitely playing it a little bit gingerly on the rear tire as Curtis Roberts puts a little pressure on his teammate Miguel. Down in the turn 3 of Roberts with a very unique line. Will be side by side up into 4. Nope, he'll tuck back in.
Roberts holding a tighter line coming off of there.
Ben Bostrom has caught the draft of his 2 Honda teammates ahead. He's not too far behind the number 80 of Curtis Roberts. You see Bostrom coming to the screen right there on the 155.
And he got around his brother Eric Bostrom, who's trying to hold off Bousset and Pridmore. So Aaron Yates is your leader. Miguel and Curtis Roberts in 2nd and 3rd. AMA Superbike Racing from Brainerd is brought to you by Yamaha, makers of fine motorcycles and ATVs. Nobody's more in tune with motorsports than Yamaha. Ben Bostrom has been bitten by the same bug that bit Matt Mladen. He's got a chunker on the rear. You can see the right side, his right side of the tire as he looks to the left. He's heading for the pits, and it's going to be a very similar situation for Ben Bostrom and the Honda team to go to work on his bike. So Merlin Plumley, Mark Braunweller Brummie, Rick Broyles, and Dave Jones are going to go to work on the 155 Honda the same way the Suzuki guys worked on Mladen.
Something tells me, Brian, this isn't the last bike we're going to see come in for a rear tire. Ben Bostrom really was taking it easy in the early stages when he mounted that charge to go after his brother. That's all the tire could stand.
Brummie spins the axle out of the back. Merlin standing there supervising. Rick caught the front of the bike. Here's your leader, Aaron Yates. We're looking for signs of caution out of him.
What, if that tire chunks, he's not going to slow down.
No.
He's going to ride the cord.
He's not whatever it takes.
He's not coming in for a tire. I guarantee you that.
Ben's off the bike. They apparently did not use the quick change gear for the Hondas. A little bit slower pit stop for Ben Bostrom. By the way, Matt Mladen came back out at 12th position and he's up to 10th. He's got Sean Higby, Jordan Zoke,
and he's doing 36s.
He's doing 136s on fresh tires. He's got Higby and Zoke within his reach, and that would be 8th place.
Now Curtis Roberts is getting a little hungry. He can see Aaron Yates taking it easy on his tire. And Yates is back down his lap time to 137.5. Curtis Roberts having some trouble in traffic. He had a 138 that last time, but he was closing on our leader, Aaron Yates.
So it moves. Roberts is in 2nd, Duhamel 3rd. Ben Bostrom went out while running 4th, so Eric takes over the spot. Then it's Bousset in 5th, and then it's going to be Pridmore 6th, Zoke 7th, and Higby 8th. Matt Mladen up to 9th. Curtis Roberts 6.4 seconds behind the leader, Aaron Yates. His teammate Miguel Duhamel right there, and I guess what they're probably hoping for is that what happened to Matt Mladen doesn't happen to them, even though they know it happened to Ben Bostrom by now, probably. Honda's running in 2nd and 3rd. 4 laps remain in this one.
If you're lucky when that happens, Brian, the tire actually will develop a blister. You can feel it, the tire's out around. It'll be a little thump, thump, thump feeling through the seat cowl. But other than that, there's not really much warning before it ends up delaminating and actually spitting the rubber off the back.
Roberts still riding pretty hard. Miguel looking quite relaxed in this particular position. Mladen's going to fight back as much as he can. Let's go for more on the Ben Bostrom story with Greg White.
Real quick, Ben exceeded the speed limit exiting pit lane, 69 and a 50, and they're going to black flag him at this point, and he's got to come in and serve a stop-and-go penalty. Brian. So
adding a little bit of insult to injury, if you will, Ben Bostrom will have to serve a stop-and-go after stopping to change a tire. He goed a little too fast. So here are your Hondas running in second position, and Aaron Yates out in front. Can he pick up a win here in the Superbike Championship? He would certainly hope so. Leader Aaron Yates going by the start-finish line, pointing at his rear tire, but we cannot see any detectable problem as he comes up on Brian Stokes in the 341 Team Embry Suzuki 750. Stokes and Yates know each other very well. They're both Georgia boys. Stokes moves over to let Aaron go by, and he's running in 14th position right now. Stokes, he's a spot behind Ben Bostrom on the scoring. 2 laps remain, and if Aaron Yates has a tire problem ski, you're saying he ain't going to stop.
No, tire looks pretty good. You get a good look at it right there. Speed Channel crew giving us the best shots they possibly can.
There's Yates.
The story here is Aaron Yates has backed it down about 1.2 seconds.
Well, he can afford to back it down.
Oh yeah, he's getting a little bit of a blister there, right off to the left side of center. You can see it right through there. I can't follow him, he's going too fast, but last lap, it doesn't matter. He's got a pretty decent cushion, 4.3 seconds over Curtis Roberts.
It's a nail biter, folks, here at Brainerd. Can Aaron Yates
through here?
Yeah. Can Aaron Yates, with one more big right side slide through turns 1 and 2, can he nurse this thing home? 4.3 seconds ahead of Curtis Roberts and Miguel Duhamel. Aaron Yates looking for win number 2 on the season. He won the opener at Road Atlanta this year. Going for his second victory and a big bite into the points lead of Eric Bostrom and Matt Mladen, both of whom are behind him. Mladen up to 7th, by the way.
Good run by Matt to get back up there, and a good run by Curtis and Miguel. They kind of monitored their tires early on.
Oh, Yates is really nursing it in now. It'll be interesting to see what he's looking. He's looking at the tire. He's looking back behind him. How close are they? 4.5 seconds at the start-finish line, but that was 2 miles back.
He's looking good, Brian.
Yep, I think so too. Aaron Yates may have chosen just enough of a different tire to be able to bring this one home after his teammate Matt Mladen, on what you would assume is an identical motorcycle, could not.
See if he'll put his patented exclamation point out of the final turn 10 across the stripe. There's a great battle for second place going, and Miguel Duhamel around Curtis Roberts as Aaron Yates heads for the stripe.
Aaron Yates is going to pick up his second win of the season and paints a black stripe all the way to the start-finish line and then wheelies it home. And Miguel Duhamel made the move at the right time to come home second, just inches ahead of Curtis Roberts, who finishes on the podium yet again here at Brainerd, and yet again without a win.
Eric Bostrom across the line in 4th.
And Giovanni Busai in his U.S. debut is going to bring it home in 5th position on the Team Austin Ducati. And for him, a result nearly as good as Anthony Gobert's best this season. Fine ride for him. Matt Mladen is going to come home in 7th position. Jason Pridmore is ahead of him. And Mladen doing the best he could with damage control. Ben Bostrom running in 12th position 1 lap ago. And here comes Matt Mladen to bring it in. He will not be the points leader. Well, yes, he will still be among the points leaders. Let's go down to Greg White quickly.
Thanks. Down here with Chris Waddell, who's the main guy for Yates. Man, that was such a phenomenal race for you guys.
That was incredible. We really weren't expecting any kind of tire dramas today. Sorry, I'm kind of excited. But we've been chipping away at this bike this weekend. We came in here, and on Friday we were kind of behind the gun, kind of going slow, and I was a little bit worried. But every day he's stepped it up. And me and my guys, Wade, Satoshi, Katsu, we've been pushing on the bike. Aaron's been working with us. It all came together today. This is exactly what we needed, and I'm so fired up right now.
All right, well,
Suzuki and Dunlop, everybody, thanks so much for the help.
Let's go to winner's circle so you can celebrate with Yates, all right? Brian?
All right. Our best to Chris, to Katsuhiro to Satoshi Momo-san and Dwayne Haffenstein, the crew for Aaron Yates' Superbike here as he is heading for victory lane along with Curtis Roberts and Miguel Duhamel, whom he's congratulating as he rides by Curtis. We'll join Greg White and the rest of the racers in victory lane when we come back. Wind Tunnel on Friday nights with Dave Despain. A regular stop on your programming itinerary is what it should be. Check it out if you haven't already, and keep enjoying it if you have. Let's go down to victory lane and Greg White.
Thanks. Down here with Aaron Yates. Just said to his crew chief, what do you think about that? Well, what do you think about that, Yates?
I think it's pretty good. You know, I don't think anybody probably expected me to win that race, but you know, Brainerd's never really been my favorite place. But this weekend, you know, the Yoshimura Suzuki, the GXSR 1000, the Dunlop tires are working good, and we got the Showa suspension dialed in. You know, this place is kind of rough, it's really fast, and we got the bike working so I could go out there and ride it like I needed to. And you know, that's what I've been wanting to do, is get there and race with Matt, and it worked out just right. Had a good time.
Tell us about the last time you went around him to take the lead for good.
Well, you know, I expected him to come back by me somewhere, and then I was wondering, well, maybe he's gonna run behind me and try to pick up my lines, and because I noticed once he got back in front of me after I got by him once, he started running getting in a couple different corners a little wider, and you know, it's changing some things up, and you know, it's just it was a lot of fun. We had a really good pace going, and you know, just the Yoshimura Suzuki's, we were dominating pretty much. Huh?
Yeah, you guys are knocking the socks off everybody. So any big dramas? You came by start-finish line pointing at the rear tire there for a little bit.
Yeah, I really, when I was behind Matt there, about 2 or 3 laps before I caught him, probably 15 to go, I started getting a little vibration at the front straight, and just every lap it got a little worse, you know. And then towards the end, it was like I was easing up a lot down at turn 1, slowing down, and just because it was pretty bad, and I was trying to push pretty hard to the infield to keep my lap time up, you know. And I didn't want anything to happen on the straightaway out there so fast, and figured on the infield, you know, we're not going that fast. But it's just great, you know. My crew, Chris Waddle and Katsu built me a good motor. Wade and Satoshi did a great job on the bike.
Congratulations. Ashton, what do you think about your dad winning that race? Awesome?
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. There you go. Aaron Yates, the winner. Brian?
All right, pretty much the whole Yates family. That's Lucky just to the right there. That's Grandpa to Ashton. He was over watching Ashton doing a little BMX in here a little while ago. There's Satoshi Moma and the rest of the crew, the guys that did the job, and Heather standing in the back. What a great job by Aaron Yates to pick up Brainerd, not his favorite place. Well, the one and only other time he won here was in 1998 on a super sport bike. So, yeah, Brainerd hasn't been the kindest to him, but it was today. Miguel Curtis, Eric Bostrom, and way to go, Giovanni Grazzi for fifth place finish. Jason Pridmore, top privateer on the Attack Suzuki. Matt Mladen fought back to 7th. Then Jordan Zoke on the Corona bike. Sean Higby on the Millennium Suzuki. And rounding out the top 10 was Vincent Haskovets on the Hooters bike. Here you go. Barney with a good start, finished in 11th position. Ben coming back to 12th. One spot ahead of Brian Stokes, who we saw out there having a little fun with Aaron Yates on his way by. And the rest all the way down to 20th position. Chris Volker, Scott Jensen, J.J. Retland, and the 940. And the rest of the results. Jeff Bostrom, cousin, as we mentioned, to Ben and Eric several times. And now for at least the second time, all three of them in the Superbike race together. The first time that happened, we think, was at Elkhart Lake. At least that's what Jeff thought. And Jeffrey Perk rounding out the top 30. We go all the way back here to a number of riders, probably most of whom did not start this race. I think we only had 33 bikes actually running, and we saw Doyemo go a lap down along with Brian Boyd early. They were the first of the lappers to come along. So we expect that from Dugan on down are mostly super stock bikes, super stock racers who will be competing here a little bit later on today at Brainerd. So that takes care of the winner's interview and all the results from the Superbike race here at Brainerd, the one and only on this single header weekend. Here's Aaron Yates, your winner, and the rest of Victory Lane. We'll be back. AMA Superbike Racing from Brainerd is brought to you by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, personal watercraft, and scooters. Water standing around the racetrack, but not a drop fell from the sky here in the Superbike race at Brainerd, and for that we are immensely thankful. A virtually perfect day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's go down to Greg White.
Thanks. Down here at second place, Miguel Duhamel. Miguel, tell us about your race.
Well, you know, it's pretty hard work out there. I was pushing it pretty hard, trying to get
get up to Matt and Aaron at the beginning there. I was doing some good laps. Got by Eric and then put my head down. And I was really trying to make a bit of an impression on him, but you know, all the effort was not paying off a whole lot. But I kept trying, and then got a little concerned about the rear tire. Got a little slippery, you know, a little. So I said, no, you know, it doesn't look like I was making anything on him. So I tried to keep a decent pace, and Curtis came by me, and then we had our little race till the end there. And we were definitely gaining on Aaron, but by then it was a little too late. I think he was coasting in a little bit, trying to make sure his tire was going to live. And you know, me and Curtis, we had a really tight race going out there, and we were side by side going to 3, and he went a little wide, and I tried to go on the inside, and I was trying to keep it tight, but obviously I didn't, because he's pretty upset about it. And I don't like, you know, to race out there and put anybody in any danger or do anything stupid. So hopefully we got it on video and speed, and I can look at it, because I thought I left him enough room out there. So he got really close coming out of 3. And you know, if I did pinch him off, I feel bad. I do, you know. We want to race, want to have fun, go fast, and not do nothing stupid. And you know, nobody's perfect. So anyway, besides that, you know, I'm happy for the guys, Al Ludington and Woody Yuji and Jason Lubin and Brian Uchida and Darren and Linnea in the background. You know, everybody's working hard and putting up with me. I'm not always the most pleasant person, but most of the time I am. And
well, speaking of pleasantries, let's talk about your injury. How did it fare this race?
No, it was really, really good. Tuan saved me. You know, he came over and he taped my skin in a way where it would like puff a bit up on the rod, and pulled it on the other side, and we put a little like kind of donut device on top of it, and then we took he gave me 2 things, Celebrex, and those things really work.
I would have just taken a hammer pretty much and just knocked the thing back in place. Yeah. But you were like, no. No, I didn't subscribe to the Dave Sadowski medicine. But Dave did that one time, just in case you guys don't know. But anyway, no, it was really good. It didn't bother me. It didn't bother me out there. I mean, everything was good. And the thing that bothers me the most is, you know, me getting too close to Curtis, because, you know, we get along good, and it'd be a shame to have that go bad like that, you know, for a pass for a second on top of it. Yeah. But a second place finish, it's a good result for you, Miguel. Congratulations here at Brainerd. Back up to Brian in the booth.
All right, well, it's nice to know that medical technology has made some advances since you hammered your collarbone back down to, hammered the plate back down to go racing again. But for Miguel, a good run for him, and there are his guys to the right. As we take a look at the point standings, Eric Bostrom 3 points ahead of Matt Mladen. They came into this race tied, but they also came into this race almost 20 points ahead of Aaron Yates. Not no mo, as they say. Yeah. Curtis Roberts 4th, and Ben Bostrom in 5th. So the top 5 are still pretty much the same, but they have tightened up a little bit. And we have, as you can see, quite a few more rounds to go in the Chevy Truck Superbike Championship. Back to Greg White.
Thanks. Down here with Curtis Roberts, 3rd place finish. Not the result that you wanted, but let's go ahead and tell me about that race with Miguel.
Yeah, you know, just taking it easy there. When I saw Matt have a tire problem, you know, kind of worried about that. Just took it easy and followed him, and when I figured I could maybe get around him and push a little bit harder, I did, and messed up the next couple laps, but you know, just couldn't put it together like I wanted to, and he stayed right there with us, and had a bit of an incident there on the last lap, which luckily enough we're still up here 3rd, and we'll make up for that another way.
Well, let's talk about 2 weeks Laguna Seca, a good track for you. You really like that racetrack. Are you looking forward to it? Yeah, you know, Laguna should be good for us. It'll be nice and flowing, and hopefully Suzuki won't have the advantage they've had at all these racetracks that are real fast, and we can use the corner speed and momentum and hopefully win one. Well, congratulations on another podium finish, Curtis. You're really looking strong this year in Superbike. Yeah, you know, I'd like to thank all my crew at Honda. This RC51's working really good for us. Everyone at Parts Unlimited, PJ1, Shoei helmets, Technique, Dunlop tires were awesome today, and you know, just got to keep our head down, hopefully win a few of these. Good. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Congratulations. Hey, thanks. All right, Brian.
Little smooch from crew chief Dave McGrath and Alan from Parts Unlimited standing back there making sure that they get their part in all of this done, and the rest of Curtis's crew there. And, you know, there's Aaron Yates, the winner, his wife Heather to the left, enjoying the spoils of victory with Dad Lucky in the background there. What a great race. Started out fun and ended up weird and kind of fun and wild and wow.
All right. Ride by Aaron Yates, and say congratulations to his sister Ann. She's going to have a baby.
All right. Well, congratulations to Aaron Yates indeed for a win here at Brainerd. For Ski and Greg, I'm Drebber. See ya.